evening, one and all, from the world of dead and buried treasures. I am Erik Sprowls, series creator. I also happen to play Captain Calico Drake, and welcome to the world of Dead and Buried Treasures here on Pirate Radio, WDBT, where we are taking your pirate booty calls, appropriately named booty calls, on our show, The Pirate's Booty, the official after show of Dead and Buried Treasures, where we're going to take your calls for up to an hour. We just watched the epic conclusion of the most recent episode, which was Long John Silver. It wasn't a monster movie, but it was a pirate film, and it was in honor of Talk Like a Pirate Month. And I thought appropriate that since really Robert Newton, who plays Long John Silver, kind of immortalized the way that us pirates talk, with our one eye kind of open and our other one closed. And he really just did an amazing job. Infamous Long John Silver, and so much so that he spawned Treasure Island, and he did, of course, Long John Silver, the sequel, and of course, and then there was a TV series, I believe, in the 50s that Robert Newton did. So for the next hour, we're going to talk about the show, the epic cliffhanger we had that we're getting. The phone lines are already flooded, so if you're trying to get in, we're just going to have to go through the queue as quickly as we can, and if you get a voicemail, please leave one. We'll get to it. Taking a bit of a refreshment because I got a feeling we're going to be talking quite a while tonight. Our show tonight is, of course, as always, is sponsored by Redbubble.com, where you too can get just about anything you want that's Dead and Buried Treasures related. Laptops, t-shirts, hoodies, iPhone cases, shower curtains, bath mats, leggings, socks, just about anything you want. Shop redbubble.com, and using the search words Dead and Buried Treasures, look for the store of Captain Calico Drake. And just a side note for that, you can get a lot of pirates stuff like for, of course, Captain Drake and Jack and Davy Bones and Reggie. And coming soon, by popular request, all of our male fans out there, and female fans too, I guess, we are going to be presenting Professor Gertie in all of her glory, so you can get her likeness on a t-shirt or whatnot too soon. She is coming soon, we promise. So I wanted to give you that little note. And our other sponsor, of course, as always, is Phoenix Comics and Toys, where you can be a pirate and decode some of the code word secret messages that Captain Calico Drake puts out over the airwaves to help you solve puzzles and clues. Everybody says it's reminiscent of the decoder that you see in A Christmas Story with Ralphie. Which is kind of true. Drink your Ovaltine and such, but, they have other opportunities there for you to win some prizes. Oil changes, donuts, just about anything. Lots happening on tonight's show, and don't forget our contest that's going on for the next couple of weeks till the end of Halloween, or to the end of October, where our grand prize will be revealed on October 30th. Our other sponsor tonight is the show itself, where if you call in and listen to or watch our Facebook watch parties on Wednesdays, our Wicked Wednesday watch parties, our Fatal Friday watch parties, or our Screamin' Saturday night watch parties at midnight, at 9 o'clock on Wednesdays. That's just for clarity. It's Wednesdays at 9 on our Facebook page, Fridays and Saturdays at midnight on our Facebook page. You can win hundreds of dollars worth of Halloween prizes, courtesy of our other sponsors for the show, Allen's Haunted Hayrides, Rich's Freight Farms, and the Haunted Hills Estate, all located in Fayette County in Pennsylvania, who have graciously decided to sponsor us for the month of October. leading up to Halloween, where you too can win all these wonderful Halloween prizes they donated, and of course, the grand prize on Saturday night. But to see more about it and to check out more about what that contest is about, look at our Facebook page or watch the commercial. It'll summarize it for you, and it's a lot of fun to watch too. Wasn't easy putting that spot together, so make sure you check it out. And of course, for the next hour, we'll be answering your phone calls about tonight's episode with our pretty incredible cliffhanger. We've introduced a new villain, and but more on that soon enough. I tell you what, let's get right into these phone calls because the queue is already lit up. It's flooded. I got to get these in order because I know people are also going to be trying to call. So let's go first. This is Dusty. Is that correct? Is it Dusty? Dusty from Fayette County. Dusty, how are you this evening? What's going on in Fayette County, sir?
Hello, Captain. My name is Ron. I'm calling from Fayette County.
Oh, sorry, Ron.
Wow, I recorded your show down here tonight because I wanted to see the new episode on Facebook. So I still have another episode to watch later. Maybe tomorrow night I'll sit down with the kids and watch it. Anywho, the Facebook show was really cool, and I guess it was on YouTube, but either way, the show was really funny, and I don't know where you come up with these ideas and you guys, but there's some original and, there's something new every week, so I really like that. In fact, no, I don't like it. I love it. It's great. You guys have a real knack for laughs and at the right time and being able to keep us on the edge of our seat. And that cliffhanger night was awesome.
Well, thank you very much, Dusty. I appreciate that. It was a pretty good cliffhanger. We introduced a new villain, and he's going to end up being our Joker. He's going to be our main villain. We haven't really told you a whole heck of a lot about him. We only did it in the end of the episode, obviously, and obviously there's going to be a lot more to that, but he's going to end up being our Joker. We're going to encounter different villains over the years or over the months or however long we're on the air that are bounty hunters or something looking for the island and looking for the captain, and we'll reveal that as the mythology goes forward. But this guy tonight, I thought it was time to play our hand and introduce our main villain, and we haven't told you exactly who he is yet or what it's about, but I'm glad you liked who it was.
Well, you guys have a great production team assembled, and you guys do great work, and we'll be in this for a long haul. Hopefully, your show will be around for quite some time. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Ron. Sorry, I got the name wrong. I think I called him Dusty, and I meant to say it was Ron, calling from Fayette County. But yes, that was thank you, our production team. Won't be flattered by your comments. Yes, that is our new villain. We were going to introduce a main villain. This goes all the way back to our second season premiere back on episode 1, where I think his name was Captain Walter Time. And he was going to be our main villain, and I introduced him back in that season premiere of our second year when we hosted the movie Horror Express. And he was kind of skeleton-like and a pirate and had a patch and everything, and he was completely animated. I didn't think he was scary enough. I thought he was okay, but I wanted somebody that could be a real heavy villain, and some of the most famous and scariest villains in horror, I think, are the ones that have the plain face or no face. Case in point, Michael Myers, Jason. Freddy has a little personality with his burnt up face. Ghost face, from the Scream movies. The faces that they're just kind of plain. Well, this one has no face, and I thought that was even scarier because when he's unmasked, I think it's going to come as a big surprise as to what the whole mythology is about, and it's going to bring everything together from the entire series. We're going to have a lot of fun unveiling this new guy over the next few months. So 412-691-3803 is the number for WDBT Pirate Radio. Our next call is Andrew calling from Bethel Park. Is that correct? Andrew from Bethel Park? Andrew, how are things going tonight?
Good evening, Mr. Sprowls. And thank you for taking my call. And thank you for doing such a wonderful job. Not only for fans who can laugh, but enjoy with the whole family.
You're welcome.
Those are rare, and you really should be complimented. Speaking of which, we really look forward to meeting you at Steel City Con, but since they hadn't had any because of this giant pandemic,
Right.
a little birdie has just told me that you might be in a Halloween parade this year. Maybe a couple of them. Is that true?
Yeah, it actually is true. I don't know. Are you doing your best Bella Lugosi there? I don't know. Anyway, but yes, it is true. This Halloween, I'm in a couple of Halloween parades. The first is the Bethel Park Halloween Parade. I guess it's the Pittsburgh parade for Halloween. There's a North Parade and a South Parade. I'm not sure. This will be my first time doing this. I'm not sure how that's going to be handled. But the plan is I will be in one parade, and Gertie, who is played by Dana Messino Kanji, will be in the second parade. There'll be a North Parade and a South Parade, and I'll be in one, and she'll be in the other. And then that'll be on Halloween itself, October 31st, from noon to 3. And then there's another parade, the Uniontown Halloween Parade. Now, the details on this are a little bit more involved. They're going to have what they call a virtual Halloween parade. I don't know how they're going to do that exactly. I don't think it'll be me in a car or on a fire truck or tossing candy. Now, in the Bethel Park Parade, that's probably going to happen. Whether it's in a vehicle or a truck or whatever, I will be tossing candy. That's what I've been told. Now, the second one in Uniontown, which is our FCTV Channel 77 viewing audience, it's virtual. I don't know how that's handled exactly. So more details on that, look on our Facebook page as that comes closer. And that ought to be a fun day with the Bethel Park Parade. That's our BPTV Channel 7 audiences, because later that night, I think they're planning on having a film festival for Abbott and Costello meet, insert blank here. Meet Frankenstein, meet the monsters, meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, meet the Invisible Man, meet the Mummy. They're having a 4-film festival at the drive-in located in Brownsville, Pennsylvania, which again is the Channel 77 FCTV viewing audience, or anybody that wants to come down and see that. It's a great time at the movies. Just a little update on that to kind of go along hand in hand. We are still acquiring the rights to that, so there's a chance that it may not happen. There's a very good chance that it may happen. Universal Studios is dragging their feet on this one in letting us acquire the rights to these 4 films. So the plan is on Halloween night, I think that's either Friday and Sunday night, because I think Saturday night they have something going on. You'd have to check to be sure. But I think Friday and Sunday night of Halloween weekend, they're having a film festival. That's the plan, of Abbott and Costello meet the monsters. You insert which one there. You have to check out their Facebook page for which monsters. But we're having some issues acquiring the rights. So our best way to do that is to check out our Facebook page, and that will tell you, obviously, which films are asked, if it goes on at all. So the reason I bring that up is I have to go from one Halloween parade from noon to 3 o'clock on Saturday, on Halloween itself. As soon as it ends, I have to drive immediately to Fayette County to the Brownsville Drive-In to host the film festival there of Abbott and Costello at night. So we'll see how that goes, and check our Facebook page for more information. 412-691-3803 is the number for WDBT Pirate Radio, the Pirates Booty, where we're taking your booty calls for the next 45 minutes. We have been having some fun here talking about the latest episode of Dead and Buried Treasures, which just ended about 15 minutes ago, and we are taking your calls. Then next up we have Stacy from Cannonsburg. Is that right? Cannonsburg. Stacy, how are things at Cannonsburg this evening?
Hi, I have a couple of questions for you, Captain.
Shoot.
How is it that you guys keep doing news shows while the rest of Hollywood is closed down?
Very carefully, Stacy. We try to do everything with social distancing. We try to be respectful of that, as everybody is. Hollywood closed down. They have to deal with unions and whatnot. We don't. So we have the luxury of shooting anything regarding me or Captain Drake in my own studio, in my own home that I've created for just such the purposes, and I can also edit it there. Now, when we get more involved with Professor Gertie, she shoots her stuff privately at her own place because, as it turns out, her husband, Rich Kanji, is the host of Walk the Plank. So it's very convenient that he has a studio in his house, I have a studio in mine, and we can kind of cross-pollinate back and forth. So whenever he shoots something over there in front of her, in front of a green screen with her, he can upload it to YouTube on a private channel, and then I download it on my end, and I can actually... Oh, sorry, we had a little... Sorry, I had a little interference there. And we can actually edit it into the show. And it works out pretty well. Same thing with Walk the Plank. If you've been watching Walk the Plank, the very first time that we did a pandemic episode, I think it was the time we hosted, was it the Ghoul, I think? Was it the Ghoul? Yeah, with Rich was editing the show together and put my head inside of a TV set on a body. That worked out pretty well. It was fun. And then, we've done Zoom, like everybody else, the rest of the world. And Zoom has really allowed us to continue the show on when we talk to each other back and forth. But the luxury of not being in Hollywood for that brief time, and I think Hollywood has actually started up again to start working on things with different protocols in place. But we have been just pumping them out ever since. So we've gotten very lucky on that. So that's kind of how we've gotten by with being able to produce programming while Hollywood has not.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So my other question, I guess you probably already answered it, but it seems more noticeable when you guys do the pre-show Walk the Plank.
Mm-hmm.
Are you and Rich in the same studio? How does that work exactly? In fact, how does it work when you have Gertie on the show as well? Is she, do you happen to know if she's single?
Well, I kind of just elaborated on this briefly. She is not single. She is married to the producer of my Walk the Plank pre-show, Rich Kanji. So we kind of previewed what we do. He shoots the show at his house, and with me via Zoom, and we talk via Zoom now. In the very first beginning stages of the pandemic, we kind of chroma keyed it in a way and did it remotely with phone calls. But when we realized the pandemic was going to be around a little bit longer than we had anticipated, we thought, well, we better make some arrangements for this. And actually, we got the idea. I was watching, I'm a big fan of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I was watching the Mike Tomlin show that's hosted by Bob Pompiani. And they split the screen, and they do it like one person is one place and one person is in the other. I said, well, that's kind of an interesting idea, but, we have no way to do a TV broadcast like that unless, and then we discovered Zoom. And because I'm a college professor and because Dana's also a teacher, we have deal with Zoom quite a bit. And so Rich and I hook up via Zoom to discuss the show. And Dana, who plays Professor Gertie, does hers on a green screen. So it's been quite the adventure. As for her being available, I doubt it. I think her husband might have something to say, but I'm sure she would be flattered when she watches this on TV at home. Yeah, no, there's a real booty call. 412-691-3803 is the number for WDBT Pirates Radio. And Hidden Buried Treasures. We will be right back after this.
Hey, Davey!
What is it, Jack?
Did you hear what the captain is doing on the Dead and Buried Treasures Facebook page?
No, what?
He's giving away free passes for haunted Halloween attractions in a new contest throughout the month of October.
Really? That's a hell of a lot of savings for the crew. How does he do it?
I know. When the show airs its watch parties on Wednesdays and Fridays on Facebook, sometime during the course of the night, Captain Drake will sign in the chat room and give everyone the code.
And then what?
Well, you would need to email us with the code when he gives it.
So everything is time-stamped?
Yes. And the first correct response to the captain from the watch party receives free passes to one of the haunted attractions in the Pittsburgh area, including Allen's Haunted Hayrides, Rich's Fright Farm, or the Haunted Hills Estate.
Wow, that is spooktacular, and just in time for Halloween.
And that's not all. All of the contestants for the show who write in are automatically entered into a grand prize drawing that will be revealed during our Halloween special on the 30th, so you can use them on Halloween. But you have to attend our Facebook watch parties.
What's the grand prize?
The grand prize winner receives passes to all 3 haunted attractions.
Wow! And at the cost of those attractions, that saves a bundle. It's like 3 theme parks.
I know! It's a buried treasure in itself.
And just a short drive away.
Jack! Mr. Bones, quiet down. I need to sign into our Facebook chat room and do a little business.
No problem,
Yes,
Captain.
sir, no problem, sir.
Well, I gotta run, Mr. Bones.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, wait! Mr. Bones, you're going to sign into the watch party and wait, aren't you?
No, I would never do that.
Yeah, me neither. So, nice weather we're having, right?
Yes, it's cooler, but I like cool nights. Sometimes it rains and it...
Mr. Bones, you're breaking up. I'll call you back.
What the... Oh, no, you don't. I gotta run, Jack. I'm talking to myself.
Hey! Where are those two? I can't ever get any reception. Yeah! Captain's log. Sea date, October 21st century. We are discovering more and more of these haunted attractions as we near Halloween, particularly in the Pittsburgh area. So we've decided to investigate them one by one. A peculiar attraction near the West Virginia border, but just a stone's throw from Pittsburgh, looking to initiate contact.
So Fright Farm is celebrating its 31st anniversary this year, which is pretty big for a haunted house. 31 is kind of big for Halloween people. It has run every single Halloween season since 1989, making it one of the older haunted attractions in America, and especially over here on the East Coast. Fright Farm appeals to a lot of locals around here. We've got people coming from Pittsburgh. University of West Virginia has lots and lots of students who come out here every year to celebrate Halloween. And this is just a really big, beautiful property. It draws people from all over the western Pennsylvania area, and a huge part of that is our age, 31 years. That's 2 generations of people who've brought their kids, brought their family, brought their parents out to Fright Farm, and as you hook those generations in, just like any big theme park or anything, they just keep coming. They keep bringing their new friends, and people love it here, so we gotta give them some stuff to take home. T-shirts, hats, patches, sunglasses, flippy floppies, anything you can think of. People like to wear a little Fright Farm with them all year. One of the biggest ones was creating an entirely outdoor attraction, which is one of the things we're the most proud of in terms of safety this season. We have no indoor segments throughout our attractions, so trying to come up with something that is satisfying to everybody that's also entirely outside is not the easiest. Also working outdoors through all of the elements, extreme heat, lots of rain, things like that. We've definitely been held back by a lot of those sorts of things. So we have hand sanitizer stations set up all over the property at the beginning and end of all of our attractions. We're training our actors very specifically to maintain some level of social distancing while they're scaring. All of our performers who are in proximity of any guests will be wearing masks. We're also asking that everybody follow state guidelines for masking up while they're here at Fright It's every time you run a season at any haunted attraction, you discover a new hurdle, some kind of new obstacle. And with 30 years of that, you really have an idea of what you're doing. A lot of the staff here have been here for decades. There are many people on our management team who helped to build the mansion here at Fright Farm in the very beginning. So the experience is not just there from the whole establishment, but a lot of our individual team members, they've just seen it. They've seen it all. They know what happens. They know the crazy shenanigans people get into and the way that things function at a large haunt like this, and they just know how to jump over that. So it's that sharing of knowledge from the old guys to the new guys, bringing in ideas from other haunted houses and mixing it with just the experience of knowing how specifically Fright Farm really runs. Because one of our major attractions is closed this year, we've gotten to give a lot of tender loving care to some of our other attractions. Our Haunted Hayride being the one I think has gotten the most love this year. We've brought in a lot of elements of immersive theater into our show, so direct interactions with our actors, a lot of improv type performance things. Several major new sets, especially along the hayride and out behind the house, the hallowed grounds. We've built a whole new cemetery with a giant church in it. We've got a mad scientist laboratory on the haunted hayride. A lot of new masks, entire brand new set of costumes for this season. It is a whole new show.
Pirate approved! A night of thrills and chills this Halloween season. See you there! Welcome back to the Pirates Booty, the official after show of Dead and Buried Treasures. We'll be taking your booty calls for another 40 minutes here. And it's your chance to get into the queue. It is very late. I can't believe that the queues are this filled, but I'm not sure we've ever had a show where they haven't been filled, have we? Well, the first episode, yeah, it's a brand new show, but I mean, like, people watch this show and they call in and they ask their questions, and even at 2, 3, even 3:30 in the morning. You remember that? When we had that one night on Facebook? Yeah, people were... When you do a national show on YouTube or Facebook and you air a show at midnight, it's actually 9 o'clock on the West Coast, so it's really not that late. We do get occasional phone calls from outside the Pittsburgh area, so I guess that makes sense. 412-691-3803 is the number to ask your questions to me. I am the series creator of Dead and Buried Treasures. I also happen to play Captain Calico Drake. And it was a standalone. We haven't had any questions on the actual episode yet. Well, I mean, other than the big villain. Yeah, I mean, so if you want to ask some questions about... we had the return of Reggie tonight and the standalone itself and things like that. Feel free to give us a buzz. Our next call is from Jonathan, located in, where is this? Ohio Pile? Ohio Pile. So this is in the mountains right beyond Fayette County. Yeah, they're still in our viewing area, all the way to the West Virginia border, right? This one is from Jonathan at Ohio Pile. Hey, Jonathan, how are you tonight?
Hey, Eric. Thanks for them taking my call. I just wanted to thank you for the fan club. We actually became members about 2 months ago, and my son really wanted a Captain Drake statue.
Oh, very cool.
I just wanted to let you know that it worked perfectly. We actually wrote in with the code for the movie you hosted that night, The Ghoul, with Boris Karloff. We wanted to thank you for the prizes and the decoding Pirate Fun. It was completely worth it. Oh, and the newsletter is really neat too, because I know you don't publish it online, but it was really cool to read all about the Professor Gertie.
Oh, you're
My
welcome.
son is in love with her, so thanks again. We're having a fun time with Dead and Buried Treasures. We watch it all the time. Oh, and we also got the mini Jack statue as well, the one from the Phoenix comics.
Oh, yeah.
We love it all. It's so much fun, and congratulations on another fun year. It was nice to still see you going through the pandemic. The Walk the Plank episode you did with the Rich was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and we can't wait to see what you guys will do next.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that phone call. It was a question about the fan club. And it's a lot of fun with that. I love doing those decoded messages. And it brings, I think, the fans more into the show because they get to decode secret pirate-coded messages for real buried treasure. And I guess he was from Ohio. What was his name? Jonathan? Jonathan was one of our winners, apparently, and he won... When was this, the Ghoul episode? Yeah, he said the Ghoul episode, right, with Boris Karloff? Yeah, so it had to have been... was it an oil change for his car? Yeah. Or was it a box of donuts from Krispy Kreme? Well, either way, your car's eating it or you're eating it. And so you can see how that pays off. And nice shout out for our club. That was really nice of him, where I guess he and his son are members. To Phoenix Comics and Toys. That's all courtesy of our sponsor tonight. Phoenix Comics and Toys is the official fan club of Dead and Buried Treasures, where you can get the Captain Calico Drake decoder statue. And there's a quarterly newsletter that goes with this. He said his son was in love with Gertie. I love that. She's going to love that too. You know, Gertie's getting a lot of action tonight. Yeah. Well, she had a girl ask her if she was single, and now this guy's son is in love with her. Right, it must be the glasses. 412-691-3803 is the number for WDBT. This is Pirates Radio, the official after show of Dead and Buried Treasures. Where we just watched our latest episode, Long John Silver. And with our latest cliffhanger on a standalone episode. Next up, we have Rich from Brownsville. Is that correct? Rich from Brownsville. Hey, you create the queue. So this would be our FCTV viewing audience, right? Yeah, Rich from Brownsville. Rich, how's it going tonight, sir?
Arr! Taking me aboard, Captain.
Welcome aboard.
I have a real quick opportunity to meet you, and I don't know if you remember this or not.
Okay.
At a bakery in Bethel Park, across the street from the television station, about 2 weeks ago. You remember? I was actually wearing a Green Bay Packers jersey.
Oh, I do remember. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that was me. And I apologize for us winning the Super Bowl 10 years ago.
Oh, God, yeah, get over it. It's a whole new season.
Right.
Ben's back.
Right. Well, you seem like a very nice fella. And I
Thank
really love your show. And you had mentioned something about driving and hosting an Abbott and Costello movie. They Meet the Monsters.
Yes.
The marathon.
Yep.
You still planning on doing that? And what drive-in were you planning on having that at?
Well, as I said in our last segment, that's going to be at a drive-in in Brownsville, Pennsylvania. It's your neck of the woods, actually, the Brownsville Drive-In, in our FCTV viewing audience, Channel 77. Details will be forthcoming. It's still in the created stages. If it is held, it will be the weekend of Halloween, 2020. So that would be Friday and Sunday night. I think Saturday night we can't do it because they have another event planned there, I think is what they told me. So I think it would be Friday and Sunday night. And if it does go through, we would be hosting Abbott and Costello Meet with 4 different films. I think on one screen it would be Abbott and Costello Meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man. And then on the other screen it would be Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy, and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, which would also include Dracula, the werewolf, etc. So, and I would host the whole thing there at the drive-in. It'd be a night of good fun for the whole family. Come on out, carloads at a time, and pack that drive-in. It's social distancing, of course, will still be in play. It'll be a lot of fun, but that's the plans we have right now. Now, there's a good chance it may not happen. It depends on Universal Studios letting us acquire the rights or not. We're having some discussions about that right now. So if it doesn't go through, we would probably let you know on Facebook. So, but as of this point in time, which is about 2.5 weeks before it starts, 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Our plan is to have it on Halloween weekend. So yes, I hope that answers your question about where it's located.
Well, I hope it does go through.
Me too.
Because those 4 movies sound awesome. And that aside from the point, I just really wanted to say thanks again for doing your show. And a lot of people love your show, and a lot of people continue to watch.
Thank you.
You have us hooked, no pun intended.
Arr, arr. Well, I'm glad you're hooked. We got some bad puns on here. You think my puns are bad? 412-691-3803 WDBT Pirates Radio. You're listening to The Pirates Booty, the official after show of Dead and Buried Treasures. I'm Erik Sprowls, series creator, and we'll be taking your booty calls for the next half hour or so. So keep them coming if you want to. The next call, who is this? This is, we have another call. Who is this guy? Is this Scott, you said? From Louisville, Kentucky. Right, must be on our YouTube or our Facebook viewing audience. Scott from Louisville, Kentucky. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. All right, Scott from Louisville, Kentucky. How are you tonight, Scott?
Good evening, Captain. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
I heard about your contest. It sounds like a lot of fun. So we will be in the watch party chat room watching. That's actually a very cool contest because I know how expensive those haunted theme parks can be.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the contest so we can start watching?
Yeah, absolutely. The contest is a lot of fun. We kind of had the idea because I thought it was important to get more people involved in our viewing area. And I brought this up to my producer, Dave Cable at BPTV. In fact, I said to him, hey, listen, I want to get more involved with the Bethel Park area. You're only going to get people to watch if you get your name out there. So consequently, we ended up making a Bethel Park Halloween decoration commercial. So they used me to create a commercial advertising a contest that you could decorate your house for Halloween in the viewing area. So we made a commercial with that. I also made a couple more commercials with the Halloween parades because they kind of go hand in hand with the show I do and the haunted theme and things like that. And that was in the Bethel Park area. In the Fayette County viewing area, and that was also in the Pittsburgh area as well. In the Washington and Fayette County areas, sadly we discovered that some of the larger haunted attractions, I guess you can call them theme parks, right? Yeah, for Halloween, were closed this year due to COVID. And like 100 Acres Manor is in Allegheny County. Allegheny County's numbers are fairly high. They closed anything within the city limits, and that's just the way it goes. But for those of you who still want to do that kind of thing, the haunted attractions in Fayette County remain open. Now, how do they do this? Well, you'd have to ask them specifically, but a lot of the attractions in Fayette County are outside. In fact, all of them are outside, which helps. So you have a lot of social distancing, and they're done on farm properties, which are humongous, where they can keep people widely dispersed and at bay. Everybody has to wear masks. There's hand sanitizing stations, and they do all that kind of thing. So while 100 Acres Manor was kind of an indoor attraction, the ones in Fayette County are outdoor. And there's 3 specifically that we took on as sponsors. Allen's Haunted Hay Rides, which is completely outside with picnic tables and bonfires and a hayride through the woods. They're only taking, I think, 5 at a time on a hayride. They're really observing the social distancing. Then, of course, Rich's Fright Farms, which has been around for quite a while, and they had an indoor event, like always, in this mansion, but it was one of 4 or 5 different parts of a theme park down there. So they had to close that one this year, but they still had other areas open that are all outside, all widely dispersed with social distancing, hand sanitizing stations, the works. and the other one was the Haunted Hills Estate in Uniontown. Again, the FCTV viewing audience, and it's all in cornfields and woods and outside. So, and they're taking, while it is an event that has giant hand sanitizers and cleaning and crews and things like that, it's all outside. So the Fayette County haunted theme parks got very lucky because they're all outside. So that is kind of nice to do, and it made it convenient for our contest. So that was one of the things that we did like a lot. That you could see some of these events and still have kind of a normal Halloween in an otherwise abnormal world right now. So that is kind of nice. So if you call and you play the contest, here's how it works. We have watch parties on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. On Wicked Wednesday watch party at 9 o'clock on Facebook. Our Fatal Friday watch party at midnight on Facebook. And our Screamin' Saturday Nights watch party on Facebook. If you watch these movies during these watch parties, you can watch it on Facebook. We have hundreds of people that don't even watch it in a chat room. They just watch it on television. And that's okay, but if you do it that way, you can't play the game. So what happens, well, I guess you could, if you just don't want to make any comments. But I can see how many viewers we have. We have hundreds of viewers, and it's really nice because they'll watch it on TV at home or whatever, but I can still see we have a lot. So at some time during those watch parties, I will sign in, and I give a code word, a pirate code word, a secret message to discover, And what you do is you take that code word and you email us at deadandburiedtreasures@yahoo.com, and if you're the first contestant with the correct code word, you will win passes to one of the haunted attractions. And this goes on between now and Halloween. And then on the weekend of Halloween, on October 30th, on our Halloween special. Yeah, we're having a Halloween special this year. Up until then, we're having all these different episodes, but on our Halloween special, the weekend of Halloween, on October 30th and 31st, we will be hosting the movie Night of the Living Dead, the George Romero classic, the one that launched it all. And we also have special guests on that weekend. The Spooky Spectre, who is another horror host in the FCTV viewing area in Uniontown on Fayette County Television. He hosts Fright Night Theater. We'll also be having Jack Shadow, who hosts Chiller Night Theater on our PCTV viewing audience in Pittsburgh. He's another special guest. And of course, if you're a fan of horror hosts or the Horror Host Network, we have Sluggo, the lovable host of The Vortex. The Vortex is a 24-hour horror host channel where they host nothing but horror-hosted movies. And there's some special guests on our show. We have another disaster going on the show that night. It's our Halloween special. We host the movie where an ancient curse is resurrected, and because of this curse, it's bringing the movie Night of the Living Dead to life for real. And in the Pittsburgh area. So we also venture to the graveyard where they shot the original Night of the Living Dead. And that infamous line, "They're coming to get you, Barbara," was done. And we shot it at that cemetery, and we had a good time doing it. And we also ventured down to the Night of the Living Dead museum in the nearby town. I didn't know there was a museum until we went up there to shoot, and it's very interesting. The whole museum is themed, like they have props and photographs in there that they have done, and t-shirts, and they resurrect, no pun intended, the anniversary of the show, and it's of the movie, and it's a lot of fun. And I advise everyone to go down there and check it out. So, that's some of the prizes we give away. So on October 30th, during our Halloween show, our big grand prize winner, who will be drawn out of everybody who calls in there, not just the winners, but anybody who calls in there, even if they're not the first person with a correct answer, they are entered into a kitty of a grand prize winner will win passes to all of the haunted attractions and theme parks for free that they can still utilize on Halloween. So lots of stuff coming up on that weekend. Our big grand prize movie, our Halloween special on the 30th and 31st, the Halloween parades, the Facebook contests, hopefully the Brownsville Drive-In where we're having a film festival. It's a great weekend of dead and buried treasures and tie-ins, plus we're still on the air. So when you get home from all these events, you can still check us out in Fayette County on FCTV Channel 77. We'll be on at 11 after you check out the film festival, and that's after you check out the Halloween parade, and also in the Bethel Park area. You can still catch us at 11 to 2, and the Pittsburgh area will be on late at night as well. I think that's a 2 o'clock in the morning show, so you could have a whole Dead and Buried Treasures evening where you can go to the parades in the afternoon and come meet us in the parade, and then you can go to the film festival at night, and then after the film festival you go home and watch the 11 o'clock show, and then at 2 o'clock if you're living in Pittsburgh on PCTV, you can check out the Late Late Show with us, and you just spend the whole damn day with us. Oh, 412-691-3803 is the number. You're listening to WDBT Pirates Radio, the Pirates Booty, the official after show of Dead and Buried Treasures, and we'll be back with more right after this.
Captain's log, sea date October 21st century. We are discovering more and more of these haunted attractions as we near Halloween, particularly in the Pittsburgh area. So we've decided to investigate them one by one. An unusual stop in a place called Uniontown, near Pittsburgh. Moving in to investigate further.
Haunted Hills Estate Screen Park started about 17 years ago as Haunted Hills Estate. It was a small family-owned haunted farm type deal with a small trail in the woods and maybe a couple rooms here and there in the haunted barn that you would walk through. A very old school, old-fashioned haunt, but it got very creative with what it was doing. They never really advertised much. They didn't have big sets, big money, big props, but what they did instead of that is they were innovative. In our woods this year, we have 4 separate attractions. You start off with the Burial, which is a kind of old-fashioned Night of the Living Dead style cemetery, very Romero influenced, with a little bit of New Orleans Gothic mausoleums in it. The whole thing revolves around the story of this ancient Indian burial ground with this character called the Spirit, which has the head of a raven and the wings of a raven, but the body of a man, and is cursed to kill anyone who trespasses onto the property after dark. So the second attraction you go to in our woods is called the Dead Woods, and what that is it is Fall Halloween Farm Central. You have this pumpkin character, the pumpkin god Kerbis, who rules over the land, and there was this curse placed on the woods by a witch, and this witch is there creating these pumpkin creatures and bringing these scarecrows to life to massacre those who trespass in the woods. And it's just kind of like that stereotypical, nostalgic Halloween, lots of pumpkins, lots of hay bales, jack-o'-lanterns. It's really a nice Halloween experience, but then we throw that out the window when you enter into our third haunted attraction in the woods, which is Sin Creek. Sin Creek is a town of these down-home, backwoods inhabitants, I will say, as the most politically correct way to say it.
Anything like this?
Huh?
Anything like that?
It's actually very much like that. Jethro over here is one that tried to make it out of the town, but unfortunately it's one of those towns where if you leave, you die. And that's almost exactly what happens. And you start to catch on to the fact that something's not quite right here, even more than face value. And then after that, you come up to the top of the hill and you walk through Quarantine, which is our uphill corn maze, and you can get lost in there for, I personally work here, and I get lost in there for about 20 minutes minimum. So it's craziness, and it's just you, the corn, and whatever's working in there trying to get you. We had to find some way to offer some normalcy in the fall. You know, all the county fairs around here got canceled. Pretty much every leisure event or entertainment event in general has been canceled in most places across the country. So we took it upon ourselves to find some way, even if we couldn't open the haunted attraction, to provide some entertaining normalcy to the area for fall. And we were very lucky that we were able to meet the guidelines with not too much headache. There was a decent amount of work that went into it, of course. We had to restructure a lot of the way that we operate. We had to restructure a lot of the scenes and the ways the attractions operate, but we were able to pull it off, and we have a safe, scary experience here that you and your family can come to for some Halloween fun. In addition to that, we also have a partnership with Sterator Sanitation, which is owned by Jean and Tony Sterator, who are very, very great guys and popular around here. And we have, I believe, 8 different sanitation stations, completely complimentary for our guests here, located in our midway. On top of that, we have a zombie hazmat crew, which walks around nightly, and every 20 minutes they're cleaning. They're cleaning every contact surface, every touch surface, and we're making sure everything's sanitary and completely safe. We also do enforce social distancing on our guidelines or on our waiting lines in the best ways that we can. The place has definitely expanded. Like I said before, it was just for the longest time a small trail through the woods, and we have 101 acres on this property. We have so much space to work with. And it's not one of those places where we rent a space, so we have to be, we have to set up in September and have it all down by November. We keep adding and keep adding and keep adding throughout the year. We work full time here doing it. So in just 2 years, it's expanded to 6 individual haunted house attractions while you're here, plus midway games, plus axe throwing, plus concession stands. And then we have the haunt shop here, which is our massive gift shop that you walk through when you exit.
And is he your store manager?
Yes, this is Bob. Bob didn't do too good of a job last year, so we made him a prop. So, unfortunately, this is what we do with our not so great employees.
Any complaints go to Bob.
Any complaints go to Bob.
Pirate approved! A night of thrills and chills this Halloween season. See you there!
Hey, Davey!
What is it, Jack?
Did you hear what the captain is doing on the Dead and Buried Treasures Facebook page?
No, what?
He's giving away free passes for haunted Halloween attractions in a new contest throughout the month of October.
Really? That's a hell of a lot of savings for the crew. How does he do it?
I know! When the show airs its watch parties on Wednesdays and Fridays on Facebook, sometime during the course of the night, Captain Drake will sign in the chat room and give everyone the code.
And then what?
Well, you would need to email us with the code when he gives it.
So everything is time-stamped?
Yes. And the first correct response to the captain from the watch party receives free passes to one of the haunted attractions in the Pittsburgh area, including Allen's Haunted Hayrides, Rich's Fright Farm, or the Haunted Hills Estate.
Wow, that is spooktacular, and just in time for Halloween.
And that's not all. All of the contestants for the show who write in are automatically entered into a grand prize drawing that will be revealed during our Halloween special on the 30th, so you can use them on Halloween. But you have to attend our Facebook watch parties.
What's the grand prize?
The grand prize winner receives passes to all 3 haunted attractions.
Wow! And at the cost of those attractions, that saves a bundle. It's like 3 theme parks.
I know! It's a buried treasure in itself.
And just a short drive away.
Jack! Mr. Bones, quiet down. I need to sign into our Facebook chat room and do a little business.
No problem,
Yes,
Captain.
sir, no problem, sir.
Well, I gotta run, Mr. Bones.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, wait! Mr. Bones, you're going to sign into the watch party and wait, aren't you?
No, I would never do that.
Yeah, me neither. So, nice weather we're having, right?
Yes, it's cooler, but I like cool nights. Sometimes it rains and
Mr. Bones, you're breaking up. I'll call you back.
What the? Oh, no, you don't. I gotta run, Jack. I'm talking to myself.
Hey, where are those 2? I can't ever get any reception. Yeah!
To WDBT Pirates Radio. This is the official after show of Dead and Buried Treasures. The Pirates Booty, where we take your booty calls. I've just been told that we're going to supersize this episode. The commercial content we've been airing, we are going to supersize this episode to an hour and a half. Is that true? Because the phone lines are still lit up across the board, and we're not going to be able to get to everybody, but we're going to try to get to as many as we can. Our official sponsors for the show tonight, of course, is Redbubble.com, which if you want anything Dead and Buried Treasures related, make sure you check out Redbubble.com using the search words Dead and Buried Treasures and look for the store of Captain Calico Drake. You can get anything involving Captain Drake, Jack, Davy Bones, Reggie related, and of course, coming soon, Professor Gertie. And also something I've neglected to tell you earlier, all the proceeds to anything you buy through Redbubble, anything you buy, are donated to animal shelters here in the Pittsburgh area, from the ASPCA to the Washington County Animal Shelter, because four-legged friends need help too, especially during this horrible pandemic. And so anything you buy, cups, shower curtains, laptop sleeves, phone cases, leggings, socks, whatever you want to buy, the proceeds are donated to those charities. And also, our other sponsor tonight is Phoenix Comics and Toys, where you too can become a member of Me Crew. Become a member of Me Crew. That's the Dead and Buried Treasures fan club, where you can get your decoder statue and take part in all the fun to win prizes and win exclusive merchandise. Our fan club members this weekend, for example, got 20% off through Redbubble. Just becoming members of the fan club. They also get the exclusive newsletter that's only available through fan club members, and it's really a nice time. It's a lot of fun. It gets you more involved with the show, gets you more involved with Captain Drake and his crew, and to see how things are done, and interviews with the cast, and learning things that are coming up with the show. So take part in all of that. It's a lot of fun. We've just been told we are supersizing the episode tonight. So let's get back into our phone calls, shall we? Because we have just concluded viewing the latest episode, the newest episode of Dead and Buried Treasures, which was kind of a standalone episode. It was a lot of fun. It was very funny. It involved Captain Drake becoming marooned on the island and Reggie running the ship. I haven't had any questions on that tonight, though. It's been a lot of things we're doing and the cliffhanger mostly. Yeah, it's strange, right? Yeah, but that's okay. That's fun too. Hey, it is kind of a neat cliffhanger, and there's going to be a lot that happens as the turning point on this show. I don't think the next episode is going to be mythology related just yet, because we're prepping on that. I think it's going to be another standalone, but I think the villain will make a continued appearance in that, right? Yeah, we've decided he's going to be our Joker, and there's going to be a lot of villains on the show, reminiscent of the Riddler or the Penguin or something like that, but that's not who they are. But I mean, if he's going to be our Joker, that's how that route would go. There will be other villains, but this guy's up to no good, and we don't know who he is just yet. So it'll be a lot of fun to reveal his identity and who he is along the way. So let's get back to our phone calls. We have Tom calling from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. How are things tonight, Tom, in Carlisle?
Hello, Captain Drake.
Yes.
Hi, I'm a first-time caller, but I've been watching the show for about 6 months now, and I'm actually in the party chat rooms on the Wicked Wednesdays, Fridays and Saturday nights, trying to catch up on all the movies.
Good.
I really love it because I actually watched these movies while I was growing up. Anyway, I got to say, it's a great show that you've done, and the reason I'm calling is I want to say that it's a great villain, and what a great twist that you had at the end of tonight's episode. I don't know anything about this guy, but he looks pretty cool.
Yeah, well, it was a standalone episode, and it was supposed to be, funny. We did a standalone episode. We have a lot of comedy. Just, it was all mythology. It'd be kind of, it's kind of like the X-Files, If we have all mythology with no standalone episodes, then we wouldn't have any fun. So, we like the mythology, but we have to be more careful on how we craft it. So we had a lot of fun revealing the new bad guy to this one. Yeah, he's going to be no good, I can tell you that.
My question is, do you plan on doing any kind of sea battles with this guy, or even anybody else? Is that part of the mythology of the island?
Sort of. Sea battles?
Possibly.
Yeah. Well, yes. It's funny you said that because I got the idea for this guy. I'm a big Star Trek fan, and my favorite Star Trek film was The Wrath of Khan. I think a lot of people can say the same thing. You know, it was fun watching. It's kind of like another reason. Have you ever seen the show The Last Ship? Have you ever seen it on TNT? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a show about like the end of the world, and the last ship crew kind of swept in and saved everybody. But it would also involve battles at sea between ship captains, and you had to think, what are they going to do? Well, what are they going to do? And you had to plot back and forth. A lot of that was kind of like Star Trek 2. You know, what's Khan going to do? What's he going to do? Well, he's going to do this. Well, we're going to use this code and take his shields down and make it a fair fight. And you know, so it's a lot of strategy and plotting. And we're out on a boat, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to do some sea battles like that. And it's funny that, Tom, you brought that up, because that is kind of something I'm planning on doing. And I can say that, can't I? Without revealing too much, right? So yes, there is going to be a few episodes coming up where we kind of do battles with bounty hunters and bad guys and this new guy, and see who he's all about and what's going on, and things like that. So yes, there will be some sea battles coming up as soon as my effects team can figure out how to do that. Yeah, my effects team, meaning my right hand. 412-691-3803 is the number for Pirates Radio WDBT. This is the official after show of Dead and Buried Treasures. Let's go to our next call. Steven, calling from Uniontown? Is that correct? Steven from Uniontown. How are things in Uniontown this evening?
Hi, Eric. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
I just got one question for you.
Okay.
Are all those Amazing Spider-Man comics real, or are they reprints? Because you have the first appearance of the Punisher, you have the death of Gwen Stacy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are some really key books there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you actually collect comics? Do you actually collect those Amazing Spider-Mans? Are they given to you? What's the deal?
Yeah, the tonight's show, I pulled out some comic books to reveal how Spider-Man has done things in the past. Yes, they are real. I am a big Spider-Man fan. Probably my favorite superhero. He and Batman are pretty close, neck and neck, but I think like favorite Marvel villain or Marvel hero, Batman would be your favorite DC hero. Now that might change. Somebody might say, no, it's Iron Man, or no, it's Thor, or so it's Superman, or whoever, but it's a rarity to find somebody say, oh, mine is Aquaman. You know, so yes, so I have collected Spider-Man for quite a number of years. I have every issue of Spider-Man from Amazing Spider-Man, boarded, tagged, under lock and key, boxed away, actually in a bank. I've actually stored them in a deposit area of a bank because the value is immense. And I would never keep that in my house. If I kept that stuff in my house burned to the ground, I would lose so much. I'd want to blow my head off. So so it's all stored away. So yes, those are legit episodes, and they're key moments. It used to be in the days gone by, you'd go by, moments of like, issue 100 is worth a lot of money. Issue 200 is worth a lot of money. No, now it's key moments. So those moments that we talk about on the show tonight, issue 90, issue 129, issue 121, issue 120, I can't remember the one with the black suit, but certain key moments. Yeah, those are moments that were big in the Spider-Man lore, and we did use those, and those are real. So yes, I am a big Spider-Man fan, and that's one of the reasons that we did it. I love Spider-Man. I'm a big fan of all the films. So 412-691-3803 is the number for WDBT, The Pirate's Booty, the official after show of Dead and Buried Treasures. I'm Erik Sprowls, the series creator, taking your phone calls. Next we have Tom from Washington, Pennsylvania. Is that correct? Tom from Washington? Yeah, this is Tom from Washington, Pennsylvania. How in Washington, Pennsylvania? Or Washington, the state? Or D.C.? Wasn't specific, just Washington. Okay, we have Tom from Washington. How are you tonight, Tom?
Oh, very cool ending. Very cool.
Oh.
I backed it up 3 times and watched it. This new villain looks pretty cool. What can you tell me about him?
Oh, wow, that's the topic on everybody's minds tonight, huh, Tom? The new villain. Well, I'm glad you thought he was cool, because he's going to be around for a while. He's going to be our Joker. I think I've said that before tonight a couple times. I actually resurrected the costume from an old show I did called Fright Night Friday. And I had the pleasure of producing that show with a very good friend of mine. His name was Harry Metz, who played the Spooky Spectre. And when I created the show, Harry was the star of the show. It's almost like Gene Roddenberry and William Shatner, working together on making a show. And I guess we co-created it, I guess you could call it. And we did it when I was teaching at California University. And on that show, we revealed a villain that looks very similar to that villain you see tonight. And we called him Cannibal Spectre. Well, it's not the same villain. This is an entirely different villain, just using the costume. But I kind of did it because it was just, I remember it was very cool back then. And I think faceless villains are really neat and very scary. They can be, if done properly. So, whereas Drake is a little silly and Jack and has all this comedy going on around him, it makes, when you do a villain like this, even scarier if you play it straight. And so this is going to be a villain that's kind of scary. I'm going to try not to have a lot of comedy with him because I want him to be the one element of the show that is kind of scary. So we'll see how things go with that.
Well, Mikey Likey. Very cool.
Good.
Very cool ending to the episode. I laughed a lot, and the cool part was that last 3 minutes.
Yep.
Keep it up, Calico Drake.
All right, we will. And we had a lot of fun doing it. I haven't revealed the name of the villain yet, but we will. And who is the villain? When that's revealed, that'll be a big twist as well. That'll reveal a major chunk of mythology that we're going to do in the show. But we're not going to do that for a little while just yet. We're going to have a little fun playing with this villain and showing you who he is and what he's all about. So, thank you. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad that Mikey Likey. 412-691-3803 is the number for The Pirate's Booty, the official after show of Dead and Buried Treasures. And we'll be taking your booty calls here for a little bit longer. We are supersizing the episode tonight. We were going to go an hour, but because of our commercial sponsors and their endorsements and everything regarding the contest and the prizes and all the fun we're having, we decided to supersize it to a little over an hour, maybe an hour and a half. We'll see. We'll take a few more calls and see where we go from here. Next up, we have Susan calling. Is that true? From South Dakota? Is that correct? Susan from South Dakota. One of the Dakotas. Okay. Susan from one of the Dakotas. Hi, Susan. How are you tonight?
Wow, what a show tonight, Captain Drake.
Thank you.
This was only my second time watching, and I was watching with some of my friends. We were all laughing so hard that when you did the cliffhanger, everything got real serious and scary. That was really cool.
Thank you.
Are you planning on having this bad guy around for a while? Who is he?
Well, Susan, that's the question of the hour. We're not going to tell you just yet, but yes, he's going to be around for a while. I've said it before on the show. He is our Joker to Captain Calico Drake being our Batman, if you wish, if you want, if you will. We are going to reveal his true identity at some point on the show, and I think it's going to blow people's minds on what we have planned, how we're going to do it, and again, we don't want to reveal it too early because then we wouldn't have a show, and half the fun, I think, is the excitement of tuning in to see this with what happens. So he will be around. He is from Drake's past, I think I can tell you in some way, but I can't tell you exactly how until we put all the chess pieces in place, and I think that's going to be the fun of the next few months, if not longer. So I think you'll have a lot of fun with this. Thank you for the kind words. I'm glad that your friends are gathered together watching in one of the Dakotas. Is she still on the line? Oh, she hung up. All right, well, I wish I knew which Dakota you were watching from, but it's nice to have watch parties out there watching us. This isn't the first call I've gotten from that. I get a lot of this from the fan club members and how that all starts. So I'm glad you guys are watching. That's the important thing, right? 412-691-3803 is the number for The Pirate's Booty, the official after show of Dead and Buried Treasures, sponsored tonight by Redbubble.com, Phoenix Comics and Toys, Allen's Haunted Hayrides, Rich's Fright Farms, and the Haunted Hills Estate. All our sponsors tonight during the show, and we are glad that you are tuned in to talk to us about it. We have, who's next on the line? Gregory. Is that right? From Tallahassee, Florida. All right. Gregory from Gregory from Tallahassee, Florida thing. How are things tonight in Tallahassee, Greg?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, good.
Nice to finally get a chance to talk with you, Eric.
Sure. I'm glad to have you on board, Gregory. What's up?
Oh, it's not a problem. I've called in before, just couldn't get to the phone line. My question is regarding Reggie. Please tell me this isn't the last we will see of him. Thank you.
No, this is not. Finally, a question about Reggie. Normally, we've had a flood of calls on Reggie. Reggie, of course, is the captain's great-great-grandson. And this is not the last you'll see of Reggie. Reggie's a fun character for me to play. He's a nice sidebar character too. I'm always playing this pirate, and I'm playing Captain Calico Drake. And he's a nice, more of a flamboyant, fun character to play, who's always in trouble, and it's a lot of fun playing both characters. And I like to think of him as a character like Dr. Smith on the old Lost in Space show. The lovable, bumbling villain who, I originally wanted to play it very close to what Dr. Smith was like. Jonathan Harris in the old 1960s Lost in Space show. And, but when they did the resurrection of Lost in Space on Netflix, the character of Dr. Smith was kind of lost in that, at least the persona. And so I kind of gave it a little bit of a nudge in one way to make him a little bit more memorable. I used the word flamboyant, and I guess that's not a bad word to use. But it's a lot more fun that way. But it's a lot of fun playing him, and he will definitely be back in some future episode. I don't know how or when just yet, but he will be. In fact, he's in our Halloween episode this coming Halloween, or for our grand prize party on October 30th and 31st in some viewing areas. If you're in the PCTV viewing area, he's on right now because we had to break that show up. And also I can tell you right now, you will see the Halloween show with Reggie and our guest horror hosts that I've talked to you beforehand on the Vortex network, the network for horror hosts, on October 24th. That's horrorhost.net, where you can go into the chat room and talk to a lot of other fellow horror enthusiasts there. We will be airing our Halloween special on the Vortex then. And you'll also see us on the Monster Channel, which will be the 28th and 29th of October. It'll be a two-parter on a Wednesday, Thursday night, I believe, at 8 o'clock on the Monster Channel. And you can find that by going to, well, you can Google it really, You can find it on Roku, Apple TV. You can get it with Fire Stick, or you can just go to, look up the Monster Channel, or Erie Late Night TV, as they call it, .net, and go there and watch it and use the chat room and check in with us. And you can even play part of our contest on both of those networks. I will say the code word. I'll sign in at some point and say the code word during our watch party, and you can still win prizes there as well. So check out our Halloween special. All right? Those are some special dates on that. And of course, it'll be on BPTV in our Bethel Park, Pittsburgh audience on Channel 7 there on October 30th, 31st. Our FCTV Channel 77 audiences that weekend as well. It's already on PCTV as well right now. And, of course, YouTube. But you can see Reggie there as well. Yeah, absolutely. This is a supersized episode tonight, and we will be on. We'll take a couple more calls, and we're going to call it a night. I'm sorry if we don't get to everybody tonight. Please leave voicemail or call back next time, or leave a message. We will try to return your calls. And typically what we do now is we take phone calls for the Pirates Booty and treat it like a radio show. For the Walk the Plank show, we take all of your Facebook comments. So if we don't get to your phone call tonight, feel free to IM us, to message us on Facebook or Instant Messenger, and we will read your questions on the air during the Walk the Plank pre-show as well. So what we try to do is make Walk the Plank's pre-show all about messages from Facebook and Instagram and things like that. Any questions you might have, we read them on the air. And the Pirates Booty, we take your phone calls. I have fun on both, so it's a lot of fun. We have a time for a couple more calls, don't we? What's that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can take a couple more calls. All right, so here we have, who is this? Judy? Judy from Buffalo, New York. Is that correct? All right, Judy from Buffalo, New York. How are you tonight, Judy?
Yeah, hi, Eric. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet, anytime,
Just
Judy.
called to tell you another great show, and my family and I were sitting here wondering where you get these great ideas. 'Cause they're all funny, frightening, and you have great cliffhangers.
Oh, thank you much.
I'm surprised that another channel or sci-fi hasn't called you, because I guess this is still just regional.
Yeah,
But yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for a great job.
Oh, you're more than welcome, Judy. Thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Boy, I tell you what, it would be nice to have the Sci-Fi Channel pick us up, wouldn't it? All the work we do on this show. I'm probably going to... I would like to maybe take the idea and see if we could sell it to some regional channels here. We do syndicate it regionally throughout southwestern Pennsylvania, the Pittsburgh area. That's the majority of our audience. Even though we can't really get into my hometown audience of Washington, Pennsylvania, because it's not a public access channel there. It's a leased access channel there. And while it is cheap to get it on the air there at like a couple dollars an hour after midnight, you have to have a huge $1 million insurance policy so you can, make sure no one can get in trouble with the movies, that they ensure that they are public domain. So, and then we get, of course, the networks to give us worldwide coverage on the internet, or the intrawebs. So it is nice to have that, but I tell you what, man, Judy, you ain't kidding. I sure would love to have this picked up by the Sci-Fi Channel. Who wouldn't? Right? 412-691-3803. You're listening to The Pirates Booty. We'll be taking your booty calls. Well, no, we're not either. I'm now being told that we've supersized enough. We need to call it a night, sadly. We have time for one more call? Okay. All right, so you've been listening to The Pirates Booty here, WDBT Radio, the official after show of Dead and Buried Treasures. We have time for one more call. This one comes from Georgetown, Texas. Is that correct? Yes, Georgetown, Texas. How are things in Georgetown?
I love your show, Captain.
Thank you.
I'm watching from Texas.
Oh.
Good night. And nice weather tomorrow.
Well, thank you.
Smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing to you. Now that's the kind of question, that's the kind of viewer I love. Just calls in to say, hey, have a great night, and that's a great way to call it a night tonight. Don't you think? Yeah, it's a great way to call it a night. Smooth skies ahead. Why, thank you, Georgetown, Texas. That was really nice of you to tell us that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Well, hey, listen, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Pirates Booty. This has been the official after show of Dead and Buried Treasures. We want to thank you for listening to us for the last hour. Has it been an hour and a half? Well, close to it anyway. We just watched the newest episode of Dead and Buried Treasures, where we hosted the movie Long John Silver, Robert Newton, who created the actual way that pirates talk in movies now. I think Robert Newton kind of even inspired Captain Barbossa, because they're very similar, and how they do their pirate version, when they talk like this and everything, and they got like a kind of a Scottish Irish accent, and they got all grumbly and one eye open and one eye closed. But Robert Newton, man, he's the one who really saved the pirate world and made the way that you talk like a pirate. And it was our Talk Like a Pirate Month episode, so that was kind of nice. So we also want to thank our sponsors for tonight, Phoenix Comics and Toys, who is our official fan club of Dead and Buried Treasures. Make sure you check them out on Etsy and Facebook. Redbubble.com, who is our official merchandise supplier of anything you want that's Dead and Buried Treasures related, and posters to bath mats to shower curtains, you name it, hoodies, socks, leggings, laptop sleeves, phone covers, artwork, clocks. It's amazing what they do over at Redbubble. And if you're quick to do this, if it still works, Fall Deals is a promo code that will get you 20 to 40% off if it still works. I don't know if it will by this time that this show airs this weekend, but give it a shot and see what happens. Fall Deals. That'll help you out on Redbubble. And of course, we also wanted to thank Allen's Haunted Hayrides over in Smock, Pennsylvania, Rich's Freight Farms in Smithfield, Pennsylvania, and the Haunted Hills Estate, located in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. All three are great Halloween theme parks. I guess it's a theme park, right? It's on farms. I mean, it's a great big giant area, and it's Halloween attractions, theme park, whatever you want to call it, in Fayette County. If you wanted to have a last gasp of Halloween, get out to those. Those are a lot of fun to do. And if you want to do it for free, don't forget to be part of our contest on Facebook. Make sure you attend our watch parties on Wicked Wednesdays at 9 o'clock, Fatal Fridays at midnight, and Screamin' Saturday nights at midnight as well. And if you get our code word and you're the first to respond by drop us an email when I give the code word, and it'll be a new one in each showing, kids. You'll win free admittance to these theme parks. And the grand prize winner obviously is on Halloween, during our Halloween special on the 30th and 31st, where somebody will win entrance to all of the parks for free. Literally hundreds of dollars worth of fun. And you can still do that on Halloween. Just visit them all. They're all pretty close to each other, too. Uniontown is only a stone's throw from Rich's Freight Farms, which is only a stone's throw from Allen's Haunted Hayrides. So thank you again for tuning in tonight. It's been a lot of fun. I love talking to a lot of the fans. I'm Erik Sprowls. I'm the series creator of Dead and Buried Treasures. I also play Captain Calico Drake. And don't forget Reggie. I play Reggie as well. As well as the voices of
Jack, of course.
And
Davy Bones.
So I have a lot of fun doing all that. We have a lot of fun on the show. On behalf of Gertie, all of our affiliate producers, from Dustin Devine to Dave Cable to Gary Smith to Eric Nuttall to FCTV, PCTV, BPTV, CUTV, who did I say everybody? The Vortex, and the Monster Channel. We thank you for tuning in. It's been another great show. We will see you next time, where I think we're going to be hosting... What are we hosting? Do you know? Plan 9 from Outer Space. Or The Man in the Attic, a Jack the Ripper thriller, one of the two. We've been promoting both for the last 6 months, but because of the COVID pandemic and everything, we haven't been able to get to them. So we're out of time. Thanks again for listening tonight. It's been a lot of fun listening to us on the Pirate's Booty, the official after show to Dead and Buried Treasures, where we take your booty calls, answer your questions, and have a little fun. Take care of yourselves, and remember, until next time, it's a pirate's life for me. Take care, everyone. We'll see you. Oh, and happy Halloween.
Captain's log. Sea date, October 21st century. We are discovering more and more of these haunted attractions as we near Halloween, particularly in the Pittsburgh area. So we've decided to investigate them one by one. A strange custom on Route 51 in Fayette County, near Pittsburgh. What residents there call hay rides. Going in for a closer look.
Well, the Haunted Hayride was started in 1979 by my brother Rick and I, and it was done in conjunction with the Uniontown JCs.
And actually, my brother-in-law is the one that came up with the idea of a haunted hayride.
We charged $2 a person, and our take that year was $988. So we made out the first year. So.
Are you going to do $2 again this year?
No, absolutely not.
We cannot find a haunted hayride older than ours. So we do claim that this is the nation's oldest haunted hayride.
It's narrated by the drivers, and some of the drivers do a better job than others, of course. And we try to make it fun, and it's a good family event. There's not a lot of blood and gore. It's a good, wholesome family event where you could come out and have a good time. And the little kids, if they're scared, they'll bury their head in their mother or dad's lap and tell you how brave they were when they got off the wagon.
We also offer for groups bonfires. As you can see, they're getting ready to get set up there. You can reserve a bonfire with your group. And now we have the Tavern of Terror.
And we decided to make it into a haunted house. So we've kept the bar, the original bar, and you walk in and it is a bar. So of course you cannot get a drink there. There's no liquor license there. In the state of Pennsylvania, you need a liquor license. So there's a lot of different things that go on. You start off in the bar, and that's why we call it the Tavern of Terror. And our theme is we serve only the finest spirits. I'll credit Ricky Dick from Castle Blood with that quote.
This is a real working dairy farm. It goes back 8 generations. So this year, we've decided, to follow the CDC guidelines as much as we can with social distancing, sanitizing. So with social distancing, our bonfires are 25 or less in a group. On our hayride, we're running the hayrides at half capacity. In the haunted house, it's going to be 5 or less that go through the Tavern of Terror, and it will only be from your groups. We're also asking that you follow the CDC guidelines and wear a face mask. We actually got the hand sanitizer placement ideas from an amusement park, and so before you get on the hayride, you can sanitize before, and when you get off, you can sanitize. It is really set apart from other haunted attractions because the majority of our event is outside. So there is the haunted house that you can go through, but that would be in a small group. But on the hayride, it's outdoors. So we've asked our monsters to not get into the hay wagon with you like they have in the past. So things are going to be a little bit different, maybe not as scary as what it has been in the past, but it's because we're, following those guidelines. So, with the bonfires, you're within your group and the groups are 25 or less. So because we have our bonfire social distance, you don't stand as much of a chance of spreading the germs or, coming in contact with somebody that has COVID or even, the flu or things like that, because you're already social distanced.
So we have some combination of pricing, and it's a nice evening.
Pirate approved! A night of thrills and chills this Halloween season. See you there!